good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, and even those of you that do, cutting the fan. Sorry about the background noise. I'm John Miller. I founded Rock Solid Law over 30 years ago. We're here in beautiful Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Love practicing at the beaches. Have loved for the last, 31 something years. Love practicing in Northeast Florida. For those of you that don't know the firm, we're talking about real estate today, and our firm also does representation of entrepreneurial small business owners, as well as estate planning. And if you ever want me to talk about that, I'm happy to. But the three of those blend in together beautifully in our practice. I presume most people on board today are in the real estate field, because that is what portability really is all about. But more important than that, it's for every Florida homeowner, right? Especially ones that are shifting from one property to another. Thank you, Mike Berry, for your comment in the chat box. Good morning to you and to everybody. And my anonymous attendee, hey, my brother, I like it, bro. The website is rocksolidlaw.com. And for anybody that joined after I said that, you might want to go ahead and pull that up in a separate window. I'm going to show you something handy dandy that we have on our website midway through, I think, the webinar. You know what? There's a type answer. I've been doing this now for 2 years, but I'm imperfect. rocksolidlaw.com. There you go. Let's see. Hit send, John. So there is a Q&A box. Typically, we work in the chat box. Lois, you've perfectly good morning to everyone. So I know two of you know where the chat box is. It is approximately right there. Isn't that fun? Don't you love the big finger? So let's dive right in. I try to keep these to about a half an hour. Portability really, really needs a full hour to be taught. So we're going to hit the highlights today. I'll mention it again at the end. If any of your brokers or your brokerages would like me to come in, and we're back to doing live, do a live of the full seminar workshop, I'm glad to do it. We'll have a little more time then to go over examples and make sure that you best represent your clients. So why are you here? Why are you taking your valuable time to be here? And I believe it's because each of you want your clients or customers to value you as an expert on a subject that can save them a whole bunch of money. One of the best ways to be taken in as a strategic advisor, as a valued advisor, is to give value and save people money. This is the gift that keeps on giving. You help somebody properly transfer their portability. It is going to be annually that they thank you for saving them a whole bunch of money. Those of you that have been on these for the last couple of years or seen me in a live seminar know that I am a storyteller. I love telling stories. I had a guy call me the other day. He was referred by a good lawyer friend of mine. He's not a client at this point in time, but he had just sold $1 million house. And I said, well, you upscaling or downscaling? Thinking most people in my age group are downscaling after they become empty nester. And he said, oh no, I upscaled. He had been for many years in his former house, and he was able to port $500,000 to the new house. And by the end of this session, you're going to know exactly what that means. And it's huge for him and his family on taxes. So this is the kind of thing that you can learn a little about and then really, really help out the people that you represent. So I know everybody on here likes to save money. I think we all do. And you know that your clients, customers, whatever you prefer to call them, want to save money too, right? So one of the best ways you can help them is by learning the subject, teaching them how to do it. If you don't quite get it, send them over to me like that other guy. I'll take the call, or somebody on my team will show them how to do it. But I think you're going to understand better by the end of this 30 minutes. Most of you know that we do the estate planning portion as well. So a lot of times, even if I'm not involved in your closing, if I can help your customer with the portability, a lot of them turn around and go, oh my God, I've never done a will or a trust. Can you please help me with that too? So I appreciate your referrals on that side as well. Yeah, Eddie, you should have taken this years ago. I love it. That's what people say when they come to me to do their will. The last one we did, the kids were minors and they're all in med school now. So you might notice the approach is a little bit of fun. I hope to keep your attention for this 30 minutes. And the information will be good, but I might have a snarky remark or two. And if you want to eliminate those from your consciousness, I'm okay with that too. Okay, so listen, this class, it's got math and taxes. And I know everybody's sitting there going, woo, math and taxes. Those are my two favorite subjects. But it's not hard math because we've given you a calculator, and I'm going to show you how to use that. And there is a hard math, but we made it easy, providing you the easy button for that. So basically, for those of you that are new to interacting with us, our view is that there are two tax codes in the United States of America. One of them is for the informed. The other one is for the, when I'm in a live room, everybody says it, uninformed, right? So here you are. We're in the information business, folks. That's the thing that differentiates us from everybody else out there. And what do? We provide information to our client so they are better informed. And what that really means is at the end of our time together, I'm going to offer to give you something for free that will make this job of information sharing a no-brainer. And I've been told that okay, way to go, April. April loves math, everybody. Yay, April. Thank you, April. I try to keep my second grader loving math as often as possible. So you may need to come over sometime. Anyway, a lot of the brokers want you to inform every client about portability, right? Because if they don't understand it later on the line and they don't properly register for it, they're going to blame you. They're going to blame me, right? So if I'm involved in your transaction, they're going to blame me. They're going to blame you. Better to give them the education so that they love you, right? Every year when their tax bill comes, instead of blaming you if they forgot. And, and in our country, blame often equals lawsuit. So if you fail to inform them, the best case is they don't like you anymore, right? And they go and use somebody else for their next sale. The worst case is that they'll sue you. And that's why brokers want us to get this information out there and in written form so that they kind of check the box that you provided them all the information they need. Now, listen, at the end, I'm going to try to have enough time for a few questions. If your question doesn't get answered, you can send it to questions@rocksolidlaw. Pretty tough one to remember, right? questions@rocksolidlaw.com, and we'll get a response back to you. But any question that's asked on this video, we're going to be in a cone of silence and privilege. So if you ask a question, I'm not going to say your name when I reply so that people watching the replay of this wouldn't know who asked the question. But the only bad questions are the ones you don't ask, right? Because I think I'm perfectly clear on this very complex subject and that you've gotten all the information you need. And if you don't tell me, I won't know any different. Here is the important thing. We're sitting here mid-February. The deadline to do it this year is March 1st, right? And if somebody sold a property 3 years ago and they don't get filed by March 1st, they may lose the portability forever. So you may want to go through your back book and you may want to tell folks that are great customers from that time period, hey, check out your portability. You need to do that. Okay. So that would be anyone that closed were in 2022, 21, 2019, right? Anytime in 2019. It's not from day to day. It's from January 1 of the year they close. All right. So they need to file in the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Imagine what a hero you could be to that person if you were to call them today and say, look, you got 2 weeks to get your taxable value lowered by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Got your attention yet? All right, so the deadline, March 1. March 1, that's a biggie, okay? So what's portability? I like to break it down. To port is to carry or transport or convey something. And this is how you think of this subject. You got to transfer something or port it. Ability is the skill to do something, talent or proficiency. So portability is the ability to easily carry something from one place to another. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to easily carry the tax benefit from one homestead in Florida to another. Okay, so listen, this has nothing to do with investment properties, Airbnbs, rentals, any other commercial properties. This is only about Florida homestead. So let me give you a quick, the philosophy is to allow us Floridians to stay in our homes throughout our lives as the property values go up and therefore taxes go up in our state, okay? And then to allow us the option to move to another house, right? A smaller, a bigger, or whatever we want, a condo instead of a house instead of a condo, anything like that in Florida, and to take the tax benefit that we've earned by our long-time residency in this state. And with acceleration of values of homes, it doesn't necessarily have to be that long time anymore, right? Those of you in the industry know exactly what I'm talking about. So a little history. January 1, 1995, the Florida Constitution was amended with the Save Our Homes Amendment. And this limited the annual increases in the assessed value of property with homestead exemptions, only homesteaded homes, to 3% or the change in the consumer price index, whichever's lower. The best way to think about this is it can't be more than 3%. There have been a number of years where the change in the consumer price index was lower and has been in effect. But if I just think for speaking with your clients, operating on a day-to-day basis, just remembering that that value can't go up more than 3% a year. So what happens is when you buy a property, the tax assessor assigns a fair market value to it for tax purposes, right? We all know that's typically a little below what it might resell for. It's often the sale price. It's basically enough so that you won't go contest it because the tax professionals don't want to spend all their time wrapped up in contests of value. So each year thereafter, they cannot raise it more than 3%. And as you know, the values of our homes in Florida typically go up significantly more than that, unless you're in 2008, which we're not anymore. So it's there. The value of the home is going to increase more than the tax benefit. Got it? So during the time, I had somebody the other day that had owned their home 42 years. We had a big portability conversation. The taxable value goes like this, and the actual fair market value goes much higher than that. You see that gap in between those two? That gap is the amount that you're going to be allowed to port from one homestead in Florida to another. All right. So the portability refers to the ability of a property owner to transfer some or all of the Save Our Homes benefit on a previous homestead to a newly established homestead. Important, it's a two-step process. They have to establish their homestead. To preempt one of the best questions I always get in this workshop, no, you don't have to sell the one homestead. You could buy a new one, transfer your homestead from the one to the other, keep the other one as non-homestead property, rent it out, have it for investment, whatever you want to do. And then you could port the tax benefit from the old one to the new one, just as if you had sold one and another. So as a reminder, this limitation applies only to the value, not to the actual property taxes themselves, okay? So we refer to this as the Save Our Homes benefit or the portability benefit amount. It is, here's your definition, folks, the difference between the assessed value and the market value of a homestead property due to the annual limit on increases in assessed value. Okay. In Florida, the first year a home receives a homestead exemption, the property appraiser assesses it at a just value. Now, with that in mind, for each of the following years, the Save Our Homes Amendment of the Florida Constitution prevents the assessed value of the homestead property from increasing more than 3% per year, or the Consumer Price Index. We already talked about that, whichever is lower. All right, so they can't pick between the two. If the Consumer Price Index changes lower than 3%, that wins. Florida law allows the seller, those of you listing agents, your ears should be perking up, to transfer her Save Our Homes benefit to the new home if she had the homestead exemption on her old home in either of the 3 tax roll years preceding the year for which she established her new homestead. Like I said, it was 2 years, by the way, and they increased it to 3. So folks could find a new home to transfer their property to. If the new homestead is of equal or greater value, this is for April, who loves math, and everybody else, hang in there. If it is of equal or greater value than the old homestead, actually, this is the easy one all of us can follow. The homeowner may port up to $500,000 of capped value to their new homestead. So it can never be more than $500,000. It's pretty fair, actually. So if they are buying something of equal or greater value, whatever that gap is that we talked about will be portable. Here's the tricky part. And I want everybody to call April. Just kidding. Call us. I'm going to show you how to do this. If the new homestead is of a lesser value than the old homestead, a percentage of the accumulated benefit may be transferred to the new homestead. Just a minute, we're going to do examples. Okay. The amount is either transferred in its entirety or it's at a percentage depending on the value of the new property. But again, I like to say this one 2 or 3 times. It can never be more than $500,000. But in this day and age, I just had one day before yesterday. So it's a reality that that's happening. Again, if you're upsizing, what's that phrase? Do fries go with that shake? You want to upsize that? If you're upsizing, if the just value of the new homestead is more than the previous home's value or equal, the entire benefit goes. That math's pretty easy, right? Downsizing. If the just value of the new homestead is less than the previous home's just value, a percentage of the accumulated Save Our Homes benefit can be transferred subject to the $500,000 limit. Now, if we were doing the full hour, I would do the actual math on the board of one of these, but I'm not going to do that now because I got about 10 minutes left. So if those of you who haven't done so yet, and everybody else, you're at rocksolidlaw.com in a separate window, go to the real estate tab. It's under services. Okay. I hope everybody has pulled up the Florida Save Our Homes Act portability calculator. All right. For April and everybody else, I'm going to assume that the existing home was $800,000. All right. They sold it for $800,000, 800,000 in the first box of existing home. But they've owned it a long time. So I'm going to assume that they bought it for, let's say, $250,000. All right. Now you see what I've done. There's more than a $500,000 difference between those two numbers. All right. If the new home, let's do the easy one first. If the new home has a market value of $1 million, and yes, I'm cheating and using round numbers just because it's easier to talk about, but the calculator works just as well. For our married couple, you see number of owners. All right. And then we're going to come down and we're just going to press the calculate benefit button. Wow, easy. The portability benefit was $500,000 because it's capped at that, even though the difference between the 250 and 8 is more than $500,000. And the assessed value is $500,000. So and then we add the standard exemption for the couple. Now, rather than being taxed at the $1 million amount, this homeowner is going to be taxed at $450,000 annually. You have just saved them half of their property taxes. You get why this makes people happy? All right, now here's the a little bit more complicated. Instead of upsizing, this is an older couple, right? They bought a house at 250 and it's already at 8, so they've owned it for years and years, right? So let's say their new home is $450,000. They downsized, they're empty nesters. There's still 2 of them. Let's calculate that benefit. All right, this requires me to put my reading glasses on. And the portability benefit, because it is a percentage of the market value versus assessed value, will be $28,125. And therefore, the assessed value will be $16,875, right? And the standard exemption they won't get the whole thing because it could never. You see, we got a negative number. You can't have a negative number, right? So they're going to not have any taxes, right? Oh, I've got a real example here. Let me see this. I sold my homestead. Yes. Okay, Misty, that does look like a good example, but sorry, I didn't see it until I just ran my examples. Okay, folks. So the point is there's a calculator to figure the hard math out for you. And if you have any trouble with it, just send us your exact example to, by exact example, I need to know existing home market value or the one they sold. What was the assessed tax value of it? What's the cost of the new home, and whether they're single or married, okay? And we can figure it out with you from there. All right, so I do want to point out, again, you don't have to sell your home to qualify. All that's required is that you abandon the existing homestead and qualify for a new one. And after you abandon the existing, you can transfer that tax savings to the new home. By the way, a Florida homesteader can do this unlimited times, right? Every time a Floridian moves from one home to another, they can use this benefit, okay? So I mentioned at the top that I wanted to offer you a couple of freebies for attending today. I appreciate y'all being on board. Just for being here today, we've created a document. It's a one-pager that defines portability that you can hand to your clients to educate them about portability. So this satisfies a great need that your brokers want you to have. In other words, that you have educated your seller about this opportunity. So then the ball's in their court to take care of it, right? And that they won't come back at you later and say, you never told me I could do this. You have noted in your file, I gave them my portability sheet, gave them the opportunity to ask any questions. And anyway, you're going to be following up and saying, hey, don't forget to file your portability, right? So in order to get that to you, all I need you to do is send a digital file of your personal brand, and we'll create it for your use. We're going to co-brand it with the Rock Solid logo and your logo. And you need to send that digital file to questions@rocksolidlaw.com. So um, the only thing I ask is that since we're providing that to you, that you leave our contact information on there as well. Finally, if any of you or your brokers would like for me to, I will be glad to come to your brokerage to teach this class in full, which takes about 60 minutes typically, leaving sufficient time for questions. Just again, write questions at Rock Solid Law, and my amazing team can set that up for you. I had thought that, okay, I'm sorry, April, I just saw your question. rocksolidlaw.com under services is the real estate, right? Because this is within our real estate services. So services is the third tab over at the top. There's home, about us, and services. The second one down, you'll see real estate closings, refinances, title, and escrow. And then just the first button's rates. The second button down, if you scroll about one screen's worth on my computer, utilize our portability calculator, is there in a large teal rectangle. That's the point where you click and the calculator comes right up. All right. I have I'm down to 1 minute. Let me see if there are, April found it. Awesome. I'm looking under questions and answers. No other questions and answers. We got a few comments. John, that's me. Thanks for the excellent overview, man. I appreciate that. Mike, is the market value what the seller sold for? Yes. Yes, that is the easiest way to calculate that, because the definition of fair market value is what a willing buyer is willing to pay a willing seller at arm's length. So the only argument that the tax assessor could make, in my opinion, reasonably, would be that you didn't have a willing buyer and a willing seller, and that you therefore manipulated the sale price in order to take advantage of additional portability. I have personally never seen that argument taken, but hypothetically, I think it's possible. So yeah, fair market value, or first rectangle at the top, is the amount it sold for. Second, you got to know the assessed value that your seller was paying taxes on, right? Easy enough to look up. And then what they buy the new house for. Yep. No, it used to have to be done in 2 years. Kimberly, hi. It used to have to be done in 2 years, and they moved it up to 3. They've moved it up to 3. That was a change in the law. I got to put my glasses on. You're welcome, Sharon. Second time through. Thank you. Oh, good. And guys, this will be posted in a couple of weeks, I think, on our site. There are old portability Zoominars on there already. Feel free to ask my team for access, and you can look at it again, in your spare time. You're welcome for the calculator. We just felt there was a need, so we paid to have some really, really bright, what are they called? Designers and mathematicians create that for you guys. Oh, Eddie, I would love that. Would love to do that. You're you're anonymous as well. Oh, good. You guys are saying hello to each other. It starts in January 1. It's not the year of the sale. It's January 1. You're so welcome, Ethan. Oh, I'm a rock star. Thanks, Eric. By the way, I do get to play some music at Ragtime on Friday night. That's tomorrow night. Anybody that's looking for something to do, that'll be the first time I've gotten to play music out in 2022. Obviously, looking forward to that. That is right, Kimberly, regardless of closing date or buy date. I don't know why the law was written like that, but whether you close January 2nd or December 30th, it doesn't matter. The 3-year ticker runs for starting the 1st of January on the year that you closed. All right. I love it. You guys saying hi to each other. That's great. It's been a really good one this morning, and I will look forward to seeing you all soon. You're awesome. Woo! Thank you. I like starting the morning being told I'm awesome, and I'd love to come do that. All right, guys. Here comes Lionel Richie and the Commodores, zooming you into a fantastic Thursday. Obviously, we'd love for you to come close with us at Rock Solid Law and Title. We love our beaches community. We love our Jacksonville community. We love our Ponte Vedra community. We love our Northeast Florida community. And I will look forward to seeing you all soon. Peace.